What's going on, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 9 in my 10th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October. And today's review is a film that I had watched a few years ago, and it did make my top 10 list, but I hadn't watched it since it came out. And that is the film Overlord from the year 2018. I've had this 4K disc in my collection here for a little while, and I'm like, man, you know what? I never cracked this open. Let's give Overlord another watch. I've always really liked this cover. The blood spatter is the paratroopers. So yeah, this film is a war horror film, which is very different. You don't get that a lot, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I really dug it. So yeah, this movie follows a group of, I believe, 101st Airborne paratroopers as they are over France, and their plane gets shot down. So they are basically behind sort of enemy lines. The Nazis have invaded the territory, and their plane gets shot down, and most of them die, including the I guess sergeant, and they essentially have to figure out like their mission, and they end up meeting this woman who's a local, and they're up in her attic, I believe. So the entire area is surrounded by Nazis, and it turns out that the Nazis are doing some weird, horrific experiments that add to the plot there. So that's basically the plot. The movie itself is really awesome. One of my favorite aspects about the film is just the opening. From the time that the plane is shot down to the time the paratroopers land, one of the lead character that we're sort of following, he lands in the water. You know, he has to cut his parachute cord and, you know, swim up, and he's practically drowning. And then he meets up with a couple other survivors, and they, like, one of them actually steps on a landmine, and that whole scene's crazy. But also, like, just the like visuals of those early scenes are really awesome. There's like all this like fire and fog in the background, and like paratrooper bodies hanging from trees and stuff like that. I really like the opening to this film. The characters are pretty fun. There's a few comedic moments in this flick, but like it's nothing like over the top. It does still have like the war aspect of the film, like heavily intertwined with the horror aspects, which I really like. Overall, it's just it looks good. It sounds good. It's a fun movie, especially when you like throw in like the Nazi experiments and stuff like that, and you know, likable characters and stuff. It's just like for war horror, you barely ever get it. There's only like a handful of films that I can think of that I would consider war horror. And this is definitely like one of the coolest. So with that said, I go ahead and give Overlord a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth watching if you've never seen it. And with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another review.